It's something most people won't admit. But I'm willing to admit it, that I would have liked to have been a Nazi. In the sense that, not in the sense that I hated the Jews, but in the sense that that power that they were promising you is something, again, I think that's primal, it's human instinct.
The Nazis' message of we're better because we're this Aryan race would have been something that I probably would have wanted to hear.
Everyone wanted to be his best friend. Everyone wanted to be like cool with Hitler. He was like the in guy.
Were I a 16-year-old boy in Nuremberg in 1935, I would have been Hitler Youth. And it scares the bejesus out of me, but it's true.
To be honest, at that point, I was like shaking. I am not a Nazi. I'm not training to be a Nazi. I don't like the Nazis. I'm a Jew. I go to temple. I had a bar mitzvah.
I thought that it was a study of the Holocaust.
For those of you who think you're taking a Holocaust course, you're not. We'll spend maybe 2 days looking at the actual Holocaust. The name of the class is Nazi Mind. The basic idea is to try to understand why the German people, not the leadership of the Nazi Party, but the German people, basically good, decent, moral people, were willing to be suckered in by Nazi ideology.
Like, how could the Holocaust happen? Why? Like, why the Jews, you know? And everyone's like, or you ask your parents, like, why did this happen? Oh, because they hated us, because they hated the Jews. But that's not, like, the right, I mean, that's the answer before taking Nazi Mind.
If you think this class is about old dead Nazis, it's not. This is a class about you and about your own abilities and your own willingness to do incredibly bad things. We're at Sachsenhausen concentration camp. This is a place of random violence and random murder. It is different, however, than, say, Auschwitz or Treblinka.
The concept of that many people dying in one place is unreal to me. Not even 6 million people, just the 40,000 or so that died at Dachau.
The hardest for me was when we went down that path through the trees where they would all get shot in a line, and then thinking about your family, like if that was your family, because they would do families at the same time and you just watch your family die. That really hit home, because you kind of want to like say a prayer or something, but like I felt like there was no one to say a prayer to.
And you can see the outlines of the people who had been burned to death in the crematoria, and there are no words to really describe those kinds of things.
I don't even know what Guantanamo is. Straight up. Like, you can give me like a year and I still won't get it. Is it like Darfur or something?
Dachau in 1933, 34, 35 was not Auschwitz in 42. It was not a death camp. It was a very tough prison. Well, that you can compare to Abu Ghraib. That you can compare to Guantanamo. And that you have to look at in terms of what are the thresholds. Hitler would not have been able to get away with Dachau if the German people would have said no. It wouldn't have progressed. You got to stop this kind of evil early on. We're going to have a constitutional government, or I should say it this way. Here we is all meeting, we is all the lawyers, we is all from all the German states, we is coming together here in Frankfurt, and we is going to make a constitution.
Mr. Fritz accents. They basically made my day.
We're in Africa. We're taking over Africa. I should do it this way, you know. We've taken over Africa, you know. Why are we taking over Africa? What are we doing? It's not just it's the damn French. It's that these French ideals of liberté, equalité, fraternité, all those liberal ideas are craziness.
He really understands a teenager.
Have you guys seen the South Park, the redheaded South Park?
Yes, I watched it last night. I watched it last night.
Teacher's like, you gotta raise your hand. Yo, can I go to the bathroom? Man, why are you going to the bathroom now? This is important notes. It's like, I don't particularly care. I need to go drop a dump.
You know, you got to blow your nose or whatever. You're an adult. Get up, take care of your business, come back quickly. Don't disturb us.
We're equals. There's no hand raising, it's discussion.
What's a hostile framework? Don't you dare! You did not pay attention. What is the matter with you, young man?
He just yells at you because you shouldn't be raising your hand. We're equals in that class.
I will get really angry with people who look over and go, what did you get? Because what that suggests is you're worrying about a letter or a number. And what that leads to is people making their self-esteem based on letters and numbers. And we don't need that. Put your hand down, you miscreant.
I have never learned so much in a single class, let alone a single semester. Because it wasn't just Mr. Fripp doing the teaching. We were kind of teaching each other. Every day, another dot was connected. There was another line added. And then once we hit the trial, it just all came together.
All rise. This is a simulation. It's not a reenactment.
Asserts that members of the SS were told to respect the prisoners of war.
What we do with the kids is we say to them, here are the transcripts to the Nuremberg trials. Your obligation here is not to go into these transcripts and write up a little play. Your job is to go through and read them and do a better job than the original folks did.
Do you maintain ignorance of the goings-on in Auschwitz?
I had nothing to do with Auschwitz. That was I wasn't there. Like I said before, well, I am guilty, but of course I will not be saying that, and I'm saying that I'm not guilty. And on the trial, I will be lying a lot. These documents will appear to have my signature, but this is wrong. These signatures are either facsimiles, or they're stamps, or they're typewritten. They are not mine.
Now, you're going to sit back and you're going to say to me, these guys were all lawyers. They had all gone through college. If you're talking about Justice Jackson, he was a Supreme Court justice. How am I going to do better than a Supreme Court justice? Well, the fact of the matter is you've got his examples to work from. You have to approach the case as if you really were a prosecutor.
Rosenberg broke the Geneva Convention by using prisoners of war for war operations.
As if you really were a defendant.
That's right. I know you didn't win the war. You've been telling that lie for far too long. We won the war on the battlefield, but our politicians stabbed us in the back.
You have to sit back and you have to take a look at this case and you have to say, I was here, I was doing it. What should I have done if I were in that situation?
Your Honors, I would wish to explain these questions.
What I have found is that the kids who are playing the defendants actually get the most out of it.
The Jews had stabbed us in the back and were taking over our country.
The kids who are playing the prosecutors, they can have the distance.
You said you participated in Kristallnacht to
But the defense attorneys and the defendants, those kids have to look into the open graves.
I kind of think it's part bullshit, actually. It sounds really good, you know, never again, just so horrible, but here it is happening again.
If you say never again, and you don't act upon Darfur, or if you didn't act upon Rwanda, or if you didn't act upon Yugoslavia, then you are a hypocrite.
We need to understand, for it to never happen again, why it did happen. And I think that most people just don't.
It's not dead. It's in us, it's part of us, and unless all of us are willing to take it out and look at it carefully, it will come again. You put on the music, you get the guys marching, you put them into uniforms. It is so easy to go with the flow. It's part of the makeup of who we are. This is about the Nazi inside of you and me, and it's about digging that Nazi out, because he's there. He's sitting there. He's waiting for you. And unless you can examine it, unless you can pull it out, humanity itself has no chance of survival.
Do the reading. Take it from a guy that didn't do any of the reading. He knows if you don't do the reading. He knows I never did the reading. Don't pretend like he doesn't know. The man's a genius.